If you already own a guitar, I'm gonna show you how to turn it into a perfectly functional lap steel like this for about 25 bucks. Hi, I'm Jeremy Fisher, and I'm going to show you how I turn my little parlor guitar into a lap steel without any tools for a very low price of about 25 bucks. Before I go too far, I just want to point out I do have a splint on the middle finger of my left hand because of an injury. This isn't part of it. This is not another slide on my middle finger. I just wanted you to know that in case you thought that it was part of this. But it is one of the reasons I'm doing these slide tutorials, because I can't play my guitar like I usually do. Anyhow, what I've done is I've put a raised nut. Now this nut, let me show you, takes the strings and boosts them off the fretboard so that you're not gonna hit the fretboard with your steel and get a bunch of additional noise. It gives you lots of clearance like any good lap steel has. And all it is, I'll just loosen it off here and show you. So here's the raised nut. This is a little piece of metal that is gonna fit over top of my existing nut on my regular guitar. This will work on an electric guitar or an acoustic guitar. So you loosen your strings off, and then you're going to lift each one carefully to get it on top of the new steel nut. And there we go. Get each string in its groove. I've put my raised nut over top of the existing nut, and my strings are all loosened off. Now I'm just gonna tune them up, and I'm gonna tune to an open tuning because standard tuning isn't gonna give me nearly as many options to play since I'm not able to fret on my fretboard now that my strings are so high. So I'm gonna go with open G tuning, which is a very common tuning for dobro and lap steel players. All right, now I'm tuned to open G, which sounds like that. And the strings are, starting from the lowest, the 6th string, D, G, D, G, B, D. So I'm gonna lay off that low D string, the 6th string, quite a bit, and mostly I'm playing around starting with my thumb on the 5th string because that's where the roots of my chords are. So I've got my chords. All right, the next thing I want to show you is the actual slide that I'm playing with. This is a Stevens steel slide, and you'll notice it's different than the bottleneck slides that we play on guitar like this. Usually, there are several different kinds. This is my favorite for lap steel playing. And the way that you hold it is you put it between your thumb and your middle finger, like this, and your index finger goes on top for control. And that's it. It takes a little minute to get used to holding it, but once you do, it's quite maneuverable, quite a bit easier to use than, say, a bottleneck would be on your lap like this. I've got my, 3 chords. G, at the 5th fret, I've got a C, and at the 7th, I've got a D. That's a great place to get started. And you'll find right away that it's just a lot easier to get a clean sound out of lap steel than, say, bottleneck if your guitar is not exactly set up for slide playing. So it's nice to get these strings off the fretboard. You can, with the steel, you can angle the steel and play individual notes. The grip sort of lends itself well to doing that so that you don't get a bunch of additional noise with the slide scraping on the wound strings and other strings that you're not playing. And the other thing I've got is a thumb pick. I use a D'Addario medium plastic thumb pick. You can also put finger picks if you want that sound. I like just having the thumb pick to give me a little bit more attack and low end on those and pronounce those lower notes. I find that I don't need the finger picks as much playing this style. because my fingertips and a bit of fingernail is just enough to bring the sound out that I like. And once you get all set up and ready to go, a couple little tricks that you can use to get started. So obviously you can fret your slide over top of the frets to get the major chords. You can do double stops. So if I go down I start at the 12th fret on the 2nd and 3rd strings, I've got those thirds there, which is a nice sound. But also with this steel, I can change my grip. I can put it between these two fingers or these two fingers, except for I can't because I've got this splint on. But I can do that, or even my ring finger. I'll use my index and my thumb, so I can hold it like this, and I can change the position of it to play major thirds and minor thirds. So major third, minor third, minor third, major third. I'm not the most experienced player, my intonation's a little bit off, but you get the idea. It opens up some new possibilities for the harmony that you can play on here just by the nature of how you can maneuver the slide. I can also drop that root down an octave, so use my 5th string and my 2nd string to play tenths going down. So major 10th, minor 10th, minor 10th, major 10th. And I do want to use my other fingers to mute the strings behind the slide, otherwise I get some extra noise and it's not always the sound that you're looking for. Sometimes it is. But if you want it clean, you want to mute with these fingers on the strings behind the slide. I think that's about it. I just really wanted to show you this way of setting up a guitar with pretty cheap materials and no intrusive work on the guitar, so you can have a different experience. And if you really like this, then there's lots of lap steels, acoustic and electric out there that you can try out at guitar stores if you want to go deeper into it. But this could get you started for about 25, 30 bucks of stuff that you can find online. I hope this has been interesting for you. If you're looking for more tutorials with chord charts and tabs, or you want to connect with me personally, please visit patreon.com/JeremyFisherMusic. And I'll see you back here soon for another tutorial.